All right. Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, exactly. Samuel, did you
Hi.
hear the news?
I don't know.
We got a new show. We got a new show.
Oh my god! Wait, when?
New.
When did they announce this?
They announced it yesterday. It's coming out October 28th. That's like 2 days from now. They really cut it fine this time. We didn't know.
Like a short trek, like a new show of shorts, right? They just filmed in a backyard somewhere. Like, oh yeah, this is the Discovery Bridge. Okay, there you film. Okay, now we've got a short. That's what you mean, right?
No. It's short because it's animated, but yeah, it's called Prodigy. I don't know if anybody's heard about it.
Oh, it's about Wesley Crusher.
Ha! Yes, absolutely. Anyway, welcome back, guys. It is time to do some predictions for Prodigy. Like I said, it's coming out on October 28th, which is Thursday. So in 2 days.
Goodness!
Another new Trek show. We've got Picard, we've got Discovery, we've got Lower Decks, now we got Prodigy, soon we'll have Strange New Worlds, and the Orville's coming in. That's not really Star Trek, but you know.
Close enough. Who knows how Trekky the next season's going to be of Orville? Yeah, but I quite enjoyed my week of not editing Lower Decks. But it is kind of bittersweet though, because we're done with Lower Decks. Like, we've done the content. We had our big farewell in our drunk live, which you guys did amazing on. Really helps our month. And this is our start of Prodigy. Goodness.
Speaking of helping out with, Ozzy thrown in 2 super chats. First
Very
one's
helpful.
$2. Congratulations on 61,000 subscribers, guys.
Yes.
Well done.
Yes.
Yes, and another $2. Superior Commander is No Peach. Also.
Oh.
He. Okay.
Sounds insulting. Is that insulting?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's sad. You made him sad now, Ozzy. Fix it. Anyway, guys, yeah, so hopefully you guys will chime in with your ideas, thoughts, things you want to see, things you hope to see, things you expect to see. It'd be interesting to talk about. We've got another clip too of the show that was released a few days ago, where they power up the ship. So
I
we'll talk about all that.
I avoided watching that because it's like 2 days left. It's like, just I'll wait at this point.
Oh, it's literally 10 seconds. There's
nothing. Yeah, I could tell from like the trailer length. I'm like, that's not really gonna have anything meaningful. And in fact, there was like a Captain Janeway teaser came out, which had hologram her drinking coffee, which was amusing, and then just the same clip from another one. But it was like, well, that's interesting. But I think that's obviously that's the scene they're harping on about. It's everyone wants a Janeway, so it does make sense to have an intro scene, because from that point onwards, she's gonna be less and less like our Janeway, more and more like her own character. So that's kind of the apex of the Janeway personality. Yeah.
Ooh, and Olivia Julius throws in $10. Thank you very much, President. So sorry I was late. Got stuck in a time loop again. Realized I missed the stream and then farted twice.
Oh my god.
Farted around the sun so I could go back in time. By the way, watch out for Fleetpaw. He's going to try something. He always does. But I'm glad you made it back in time to watch the live.
There's a lot of thrust you had to use. Warp factor. Well, goodness. Fart factor. I'm going to start sharing on that bombshell, that gaseous bombshell.
Boom, baby.
That's another one. That's another one.
I know. The thing's got to have a tailpipe.
I mean,
just go share.
We're not just here to study gaseous anomalies, Stuart.
This is true.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. Ozzy throws in $10. That's Janeway. That's Janeway said to the one crew members. Okay, don't know what you mean specifically, but anyway, yes, guys. Super chat if you're able to. It really helps us out. Of course, we got our regulars that always super chat, like Olivia and Ozzy and quite a few others. So if you're able to, please do. We want to hear from you, even if it's $2, $5, whatever it is. It all adds up and helps out. So if you can, please do. Shows your love for the channel. Shows your love for us. And it helps the channel keep going, continuing and growing. So also, you can join the channel. Make sure you're subscribed, obviously. hit the subscribe button, click the bell notification icon to all, and make sure that you check out the join button option. Just click it. Look at you're not obligated to do anything once you've hit that button. So you can check out all the different tiers that are available. And that's a monthly thing that happens through YouTube as a channel membership. It helps us out immensely with the algorithm. And it also, it's a monthly donation. It can be it's as little as $2, I think. So check it out and hit that join button. So if you're able to. Also, if you want to join it, help us on a monthly basis. Another way is Patreon/Trekyards. Check that out. That's just another great way to help out the channel. Monthly service again. So, also there are the TeePublic and the Teespring store down below. Check out the links and check out the stores and check out some shirts and some merchandise. And there is another TeePublic store sale starting tomorrow. So it's actually great because the sale will be on Thursday when we have our first day of Prodigy. So kind of a kickoff to Prodigy is a sale on the Trekyards merch. So that's kind of awesome. So
and speaking of merch, again, have some concepts that might be coming soon. I told you about one today. What did you think of that idea? Because you never responded.
Loved it. Loved it. I'm excited for it. We need to do a sit down day for merch and talk about stuff because there's some shirts I want to get done. So
just need talented people to do them because
yes,
there's not my repertoire. But no, be nice.
Oh, Olivia apparently meant darting, not farting. But it's too bad you typed farting.
And it was much funnier because you did. Everyone got jokes. Well, everyone got laughs at me and her. Yeah. So, I've got all 3 my favourite thumbnail pieces because we know nothing. I mean, I'm not really interested necessarily in the characters yet, but the Blob, the Janeway, and the Chakotay, those are 3 things that strike me. Can't say the rest of them do yet. But, season 1, a couple of days away. We kept, when we saw Discovery, its trailer, the first one, it gave so much away and we had so much to look at and we made all these predictions, all of which with the best intentions of, they'll do it right. This one is far less informative, but also, are we going to be as optimistic in terms of the other stuff? I mean, has the show earned that yet?
I don't know. I'm just super excited for the show. I think there's a lot of potential, and I've been nothing but optimistic about this show since I heard about it. So I hopefully will not be disappointed.
I have more tapered expectations.
Yes, I know you do. But it'll blow your socks off, and then you'll be like, "You were right, Stuart," and I'll be like, "I know I was, because this is the way."
Different show.
No, it's not. SVS Guru 2000 puts in €5. What Delta Quadrant species will they encounter and have to fight off? Borg, Voth, Fatwar, all the above? Who knows? Definitely a Kazon. There's a Kazon that we've seen already, so not that that's terrifying or anything. I mean, it kind of is. It's kind of terrifying that the Kazon exists because they were trying something and it failed epically with the Kazon. So, anyway,
I just like the good Kazon episodes. There's a couple.
But is it because of the Kazon or is it because of other things?
Well, they're Kazon centric, so if it wasn't because of the Kazon, then that would be
But is it like the side story, or is it the acting, or what is it?
Well, I think Marge Culler can do some good stuff when he's given stuff. He's got a good prosthetic. He has a good charismatic performance. Also, we're still on drinking rules. Oopsie. Better change that. Alcohols. Yeah, we're not drinking. No. Yes, I mean, there's a couple of pretty good. I mean, yes, it's also the story, but it's hard to say the one where they get stuck on the planet isn't a Kazon story, given the fact that the Kazon take over the ship. I mean, that's probably their best episode, but
yeah,
it's still real good.
Yeah. Well, guys, 57 of you here, 33 likes. He shared so quickly, I didn't get a chance to give you my like.
Well,
goals.
I'll do a poll and you'll say it. There you
go. Yeah. I want to hit obviously at least 50, but I'm gonna go for 75 right away. So hit that like button if you're just joining us. If you haven't hit it yet, it helps out, guys. So please hit it if you can. Hit it like it owes you money. But yeah, Also, let's see. The super chats are good so far to start. Like I said, we're interested in hearing your thoughts and opinions, your theories, your suggestions, your hopes, your dreams, things you would do with this new show and new template. I know we don't know how it's going to look going into it, as far as structure goes and the storytelling, but it was like Lower Decks. We weren't sure what to expect with that, and we were pleasantly surprised. So hopefully this maintains that.
Well, the trailer gave a lot more away, though. This trailer is far more... Like, you could even say...
But it's also for, like, the first 2 episodes at most. We didn't see anything beyond the first episode or 2, honestly.
Well, I don't think we know the real story of this show. That's what's to keep a secret.
Exactly.
I mean, they keep showing us that one scene. That's really the only thing in the teaser material. We don't even know, well, anything, really. But it's captured us visually. But, you know, you want to see a story properly. And this is obviously much more serialized than Lower Decks is, which is fine. You know, in the binge culture, kids will easily binge 30-minute episodes on a Saturday morning. So it kind of works better almost to have a serialized thing because, you know, they get the message, they get hooked. You want kids to get hooked on the crack code Prodigy.
It's Star Trek, not even once.
Yeah. Especially if you want to really love these characters, it's kind of hard to do it on episodic as much without some growth. And if part of the journey is to get back to the Alpha Quadrant, well, like Voyager, you can't have that be a mention it once and never talk about it again.
Richie says, wait, I chose very excited, and the poll tells me I chose neutral. Speaking of the poll is Star Trek Prodigy. How do you feel? How do you feel?
I don't understand the question.
How do you feel? That should have been one of the options. I don't understand the question.
Well, they only give us 4, Stuart.
I know. Oh. Well, you could have replaced neutral with I don't understand the question. Anyway, the options are very excited, neutral, and not excited. We have 32 votes already, with excited pulling out in the lead with 47%. So go vote on the poll. We get to 100 votes on that would be awesome. We're almost at 50 likes. It's good, but it's not 75 I asked for. So hit that like button. Feed me, Seymour. Considering Voyager J is in Discovery Season 3, will we be seeing Voyager A or B in Prodigy? Will Chakotay be captain of that? There's a possibility, but I really hope not. I think that would be cheese factor, having the Voyager be a part of this, honestly. It would become the Voyager 2.0 show then.
Well, and not just that, but it's a gimmick in Discovery. It's a gimmick it's a clickbait gimmick. We didn't even see
we watch Star Trek. Look, see? We know there's a ship.
Yeah, it takes minimal effort from us just to write that on the hull, which you can barely read. Like that was a clickbait thing with no intention for ever, you know, showing any other Voyagers. And 900 years, you know, you can lose 3 Voyagers in 50 years. So, I mean, we lost the A, B, and C all in 45, 50 years. So, I mean, I wouldn't expect to... I kind of see the Voyager A, I suppose, as a, 80 years later, the legacy of the Voyager, we want to re-add a thing. You know, all the people are dead, but that's like, well, Harry Kim's Admiral Harry Kim will be at the ceremony. Hello!
It's our first mission to the Delta Quadrant, so we're naming the ship Voyager A, and that would make perfect sense.
Wait, no.
A.
What will they name it?
Voyager A.
Yeah, I
know what you were doing, the Canadian thing. No.
You have to say Voyager dash A, otherwise I just won't understand what you're saying.
It's Voyager A.
You said it so convincing.
I could see them carrying on the prefix or the suffix code for that, to do that, like a special mission to the Delta Quadrant, the first the Federation has done. That'd be kind of cool.
Although then you'll get the PTSD of races when the Voyager A appears in Delta Quadrant. It's like, oh god, Voyager's back! Ah! So maybe not. Maybe not in that regard. But I would be, you know, they aren't beholden to Discovery's canon, and clearly different era, different characters, different vibe. I would be shocked if they pull anything from that, whatever wise. So I would rather see, you know, a Voyager in, you know, 2462. You know. As in never see it. That's what I mean. Like never see any other Voyagers. That's fine. I mean, this Voyager should still be in service. Yeah. Like, if you're going to see the Voyager, show the Voyager. not refitted, not much whatever. Like, it's perfectly salvageable. Just, you know, I mean, look at all the Excelsiors and such. Very little changes, and the Voyager's more advanced. So just the Voyager.
That's what's going to happen. It's going to happen. The whole show is going to start off on Voyager, at the museum. Captain Chakotay is going to be showing his new crew. This is the ship, taking them on a tour, and then we're going to segue to the Delta Quadrant, just because.
And that was our Captain Chakotay cameo. So like,
I can see it be something silly like that, but they also say as a crew, so adding that makes the cameo thing seem less likely and more like a important thing. So
I can imagine actually, if they want to go very Voyager centric, which arguably it is, you can have the very first scene be set during like Voyager season 4, and Janeway's, and it's fully CG then animated, because they've already got Chakotay, they've got Robert Beltran and Kate Mulgrew, so you do a scene with Chakotay and Janeway on the bridge of the Voyager, fully recreated in CG. It's a scene during season 4, so they can retcon that they detected a Federation signature, but it blinked out of existence. They can't track it down. So we found this signal 5 years ago, and we never found out what it was. And then hard cut 10 years later. Now we've seen the crew or the kids.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, there you go.
So I can imagine starting with that, and then you get this sort of Voyager intro, which is on the side of Picard. You know, seeing Brent and Patrick, and that would be a good way of kind of like giving us a little bit of backstory, or like we see them discover an Andorian Tellurite earlier and say, well, how did you get here? And the guy's like, oh, I don't know, my family got here, or some tie, or it'll go straight into the colony and just hard cut to like someone bashing rocks, and then, you know,
yeah,
which is more likely. But certainly if they start literally on Voyager, do a retcon scene, that could be so fun.
Yeah. And Dan, yes, we know the premise. We know they're not lost in space, essentially trying to get to the Federation. We know this. But thank you. Eugene, though, throws in 2,000 rubles.
Of course he did.
Congratulations on 61K. It should take only, going full data, 7 years, 7 months, 20 days, 17 hours, 8 minutes, and 34.3 seconds to reach 100K with current subscriber acquisition speed. Thank you for depressing the shit out of us. That means a lot. And is that actually, hold on, that's all probably in ruble years. So that's literally like so much faster than that. Okay, cool.
With so many goddamn breakdowns watched by so many goddamn people that worked on the shows.
This is in Russian years. Sergeant Montgomery, though, $5. What if the ship has real-time quantum communications while using its prediction quantum slipstream drive would be in close contact with Earth? But why is the ship there? Why does Starfleet not want the ship back? I don't understand. There's a lot we need to learn.
Well, also, if it already has slipstream and slipstream communication, that's boring. Like, we can talk to Earth today. I mean, where's the challenge? Then it just becomes, you know, Starfleet tells the kids to take it to the nearest starbase, like, of the Neelix's people, and it's just like, hey, give it to them. They need to be alone for a bit to kind of give it some poignance. Or damage they can't use it. Maybe they have to repair the ship which is very likely, repair the ship to do its primary functions. That's fine. But I can't say any of that stuff.
Well,
just too easy, you know.
Yeah.
A transponder's fine. Like if transponder, if they bleep transponder at the start of the season, and it takes 6 months to travel, so halfway through the season, the Federation get the signal and send a ship. That's fine. That's very fast for Delta Quadrant. Like that's great. That's beautifully high advanced, but not instantaneous. That's too much.
Fry Minis, $2. Has Taco Bell spread to Delta Quadrant? Beef taco.
Well, they're already there.
Oh yeah.
We just never saw them.
Yeah. Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Also using quantum slipstream is very traceable. Bum 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 bum.
But they also can't sort of, you know, Discovery is so limited to warp. It would seem odd to have suddenly have a slipstream as a primary easy craft. So it depends if they want to keep consistent the continuity, etc. Like vibe-wise, it just seems redundant then, because then people will say, why in Discovery Season 4 they're not using slipstream if they could do it 400 years earlier every week? And
because it was damaging quantum subspace.
Quantum universe time, yeah. I'm just fine with warp. I mean, it's fine if it be a a zippy 9.975 craft. Because most Delta Quadrant races aren't that advanced, or at least they weren't in Voyager. Because Voyager could outrun pretty much anybody and outfight pretty much anybody in 1-to-1. That was one of the points. It was like cutting edge. So even if it's like 9.7, it's still probably going to outdo most things.
Ozzy Madero's $2. Superior Commander is awesome.
Oh,
there you go. You
came back around.
See, he cheered you up. He cheered you up.
That's good. But yeah, there's
Dan. Yes, we know one of them is a Tellarite. Yes.
Well, they say it in the trailer and have said it many times. We had debates about it. But there's two things in the recent material that I did click onto. One of which was them saying they're on the edge of the Delta Quadrant, heading towards Alpha Quadrant.
Yes.
So edge of is a whole different metric, because edge of could be anything from like 20,000 light years to 5,000 light years, from a decade to a couple of years, and a couple of years means you could bump into lots of people. But how does that make you feel if it's not this sort of, what does that mean story wise if it's just the edge?
I don't have an issue with it. It'll explain why the ship is there in the first place. It's not like deep into Delta Quadrant territory. It's not like where the Caretaker took Voyager. So it may not be that experimental of a drive or that fancy of a drive. So I don't have an issue if it's close by, but I would assume Starfleet would want the ship back. So I think Chakotay actually gets sent after the ship to retrieve it once they find out it comes back online or something.
That's what we've said,
but the kids are just doing what they do, and Chakotay's job is to find it. Now, how long that takes is another matter. So yeah, I don't have an issue if it's a few years away from Federation space. I mean, that's still quite a mission to undertake, but I don't think they would just send. I guess they would send a ship. I don't know. That's a tough call, because you'd almost want to make sure that they could get there and back quickly, and it could tie in with the experimental drive on the new ship, the Protostar. Maybe Chakotay's, they're going to retrofit his ship with something similar so you can travel fast. I don't know. That would make a lot more sense than sending somebody like, here, 5 years there, 5 years back. You've already served your time in the Delta Quadrant, but go again.
I mean, the ship would have to be beyond important to literally use 10 years of one of your best officers, potentially best officers' careers, and all of their crew. I mean, that's not, no one's going to say yes to that mission. Like, they didn't send any ships after Voyager because it was not worth it at any point, So I don't, like, it almost actually works better if he's already in the Delta Quadrant, we haven't actually discussed yet. What if he was able to get there anyway, and he's been trying to, as we said previously, right some wrongs. He's already in a ship. I mean, this is quite a few years later.
Maybe it was his ship. Maybe the Protostar was his ship, and somehow him and his crew and the ship got separated, and now he's trying to get back to his ship, and the ship is moving further away from them as they're like trying to catch up to it.
Yeah, we said that, but that also means it's kind of the dull storyline for Chakotay. He's just on the back step. And also, why would you have a Janeway hologram? Why would it be in the wrong uniform? Because she'd be in a different uniform in that case, probably. Why would you not say, hello, Captain Chakotay, why are you here? It makes more sense if the ship was always a drone ship and then this is a brand new crew, lost for X, Y, and Z reason. So it wouldn't make sense to have it be. And I think they've definitely said that the ship has nothing to do with the kids or the kids' parents. Totally different. It's a complete stumble upon. But I mean, could they even retcon it? Idiocy and say this is a Discovery era ship? Because that would definitely fit all the technology much better. The holograms, the nacelles, the ramp, the color. I mean, it's that old, which is why it's been here for 200 years. Oh, there you got Janeway. But maybe like you said a long time ago, maybe it pinged Voyager on the way. That doesn't really make sense either. But God, I just don't want the art design to stay that way. I hope Chakotay ship looks a lot nicer. Boy.
I really like the ship, so stop bashing the ship. Just kidding. I think it looks great. So
it's too Discovery and JJ. Well, it depends how good the corridors and stuff are. Like, none of the sets look canon-y so far, but they're the kind of most important sets. I mean, have you seen that captain's chest yet? It makes no sense. Unless it does make sense by being like some
at least they made one in real life, though. Looks kind of cool in real life, actually. Gotta say. Looks kind of interesting. Don't know if I'd want to sit in it and be like rocking back and forth with ship being attacked because there's no support. You just slide right out of it.
Also looks like looks like a design for a much bigger alien race. Maybe this is.
It does, yeah.
Which I mean, you assume be part of the plot because it's so distinctly different. I mean, you wouldn't design if you need to design a captain's chair for a specific alien. well, you wouldn't design it like a captain will be the captain as long as they can be. So if the guy needs a separate chair, okay, you're not going to say, well, what if the captain gets ill, the second in command has to take command? Yeah, but 95% of the time the captain's in charge. So maybe this is a specialist alien race, other pilots. Otherwise, why such a weirdly big chair?
Well, that's how the Medusan could tie in. Medusans are known for their navigational skills. Maybe the Medusan's tied to the ship somehow and was one of the special officers, and they needed somebody special for the captain. I don't know. That could definitely be a thing that could happen, but while you're thinking about that, Fry Minis throws in $2. Any chance of Dune coverage? Some cool vehicles in the future, yes. We got a lot of Trek stuff coming up, so...
And you guys didn't watch Trekyards, so it doesn't encourage us to make more. I have some prepped, but then we had 33 Trek shows. I did get the Doom Collector's Edition 4K there, which I do excited to watch at some point, because I got to watch the old one to appreciate the new one. But, you know, you never just sit down and think, oh, I want to watch Dune today. I want to watch an overly drawn-out, long drama that's dull and overly complicated and yet simple at the same time as
Me and Sylvia said that exact thing like 3 months ago. Yeah. When we want to watch Dune? Yeah, we should watch Dune. It's got a pug in it. It's like, okay, we're going to watch Dune. She's always been a fan of Dune. I never liked it. And this last time I watched it, I actually kind of enjoyed it. So, there you go.
Yeah, I want to watch with Marie. So we neither of us have seen it. I mean, I saw the first 7 minutes when I was like 10, and it was awful. Like contextually, it just was a lot of just nonsense happening. You know, normally you have to have a really good opening to kind of grab people, and this was just like, this is not. But it's not that sort of film. It's the sort of film where you sit down and... Like, 2001 is not a film you just watch. It's a film you sit down and experience. You'll be in the headspace. And again, when do you ever say, I will watch 2001 today? It's like it's a specific thing you say, all right, today is the day. Whereas you can just throw in a John Wick or throw in a, Star Wars.
And Smart Smears makes a good point. Speaking of Trekyards, it's weird that the top video on this channel... Yep, it is. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Let me turn off my video for a second here. The signal's kind of crap.
And yes, this Jericho, they announced it about a year and a half ago. But the first one's now coming out very soon. As is Stargate stuff. Well, hey.
Alright, let's see if that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what was your thought? You said something about the ship already being in the Delta Quadrant, or getting... You said you were going to talk about it later. Something about the Delta Quadrant specifically, so I don't remember.
Well, it might have just been...
You kind of...
There might have just been they're at the edge of the Delta Quadrant, maybe. There's another thing that they did mention in one of the interviews that kind of reversed my opinion, because obviously we were worried about it, but one of the showrunners, he said, don't worry, we're not dumbing down Star Trek, because I think they've kind of shot themselves in the foot, marketing-wise, by saying it's a kids show. That's the explicit tagline. The next, Star Trek's new kids show. A lot of 60-year-olds who have not enjoyed the last 10 years of Star Trek will say, "Well, I'm obviously not going to watch a kids show." Who are burned out. We will watch everything, as will my parents, as will whoever. But those who have I only want to watch certain things. A dedicated kids show, you're not going to watch Barney the Dinosaur, even if it's Star Trek. So that was all of the marketing. So they want to grab a new audience. They want to grab people with kids. But therefore, other people won't necessarily watch it because it doesn't appeal to them, because the kids show, by its very nature, is dumbed down if it's for children who have less cognitive whatever. But he was very clear in the interview saying, no, it's not dumbed down. It's just a slightly different take on it. We're not doing the sort of the kids Star Trek. I'm thinking you really shouldn't have marketed it so hard as a kids Trek, because that's really going to stop tens of millions of people from sitting down and watching it. Tens of millions. And you could just have easily changed the marketing. I know I made it clear, but you're going to miss out on tens of millions, and they might not show their kids them because, maybe they don't want their kids to have dumbed down stuff. They want, because TOS is still a kids show in that it's a good show that everyone can watch. Whereas a kids show might not add much. Now, I'm not, obviously, we'll watch either way, but that's just sort of a perspective I've heard.
Well, I've been saying that since day one, just because they say it's a kids show. Anyway, Clone Wars was a kids show, but yeah, the marketing, I think that was a misstep quite a bit.
Just went so hard
But they
on
also had to justify it being on Nickelodeon though, which automatically kind of says kids stuff.
it.
So, and if Nickelodeon's flipping, putting up money for it, it's like, because it says Nickelodeon Star Trek Prodigy in the opening. It's like, ugh. Snoopy McQueen with a $5 super chat says, "Keep it up, little pair." Thank you so much,
Yes.
Snoopy. 69 likes, guys. We need 75, at least another 6 likes. 91 people here, so let us know your thoughts and hit that like button.
But I think you can start a new poll though. We've got 91 votes. Very excited, 30%. Excited, 37%. Neutral, 27%. Not excited, 5%, which does make 67 to 23, which is a very good sign. Because those things are not the same for Discovery or Picard more so, but good. Good. I think there's apart from the overall art design being again not Star Trekian enough, everything's been nice so far. It's just wait and see.
Ain't that?
I do, because I've showed you the sync graphics where it's clear where they're pulling stuff from. You know?
Yeah, but I think the design. I'm not even gonna keep saying it. It's fantastic design. Are you a fan? Okay. Yes. There we go. Speaking of, that tied right into my poll, so that's fine.
It is nice how much they borrowed from Horizon, though. That back view, oof. Although, in fact, they released a shirt which had orthographics. There you go. Which once again, Stuart, we have not we've ever been in the listing to get one, but it would have been nice if we got a Prodigy gift basket shirt set, whatever. I'd wear a Protostar orthographic shirt. And then
I would too.
Their new com badge thing. Okay, colouring book less so, but it's like random people who have never heard of getting these things. It's like, do you realize how much content we do on Star Trek? I mean, you do. You're here too.
Mark Henson says, "I'm excited about Picard, but not Disco." And then Liz Jericho says, "It's hard to get excited for Picard. It is after season 1, but we've heard good things. New people attached. I'm excited for season 2. Maybe they will pick up the pace and fix some things." So,
well, without the showrunner who runs the show, it'll be a different show. It will. Yeah, I do like this. The side view is just Horizon, but it's a very my sort of sleek. And the top view is a bit odd, but that's because the shirt's crumpled. Very safe top view.
Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Like a gravitational well, I will consume all Trek. Amen. I'm right there with you. I've said that all along. Like I own all the JJ films. Not the biggest fan of them, but I'm going to own them. So yeah, gotta watch this stuff.
Well, also, and I don't know if you agree with me this, because you're coming from a different perspective, but see if you agree with me.
I don't agree with much with you today, so.
Thank you. You like my idea, though? Well, actually, it's her idea, but her idea. Anyway, no, I don't think you can have a fully informed opinion unless you actually watch the content. So I would not feel able to talk about Picard or Discovery unless I actually fully watched it. Yep, and so,
totally.
I mean, you're allowed a basic opinion of the trailers, but you can't be saying Prodigy's bad unless you have not watched it. I mean, you can say it, but I'm not going to listen to your opinion at all because you have nothing to stand on. So at the very least, I should watch everything to see what's going on, and so I can have an opinion. So I can, and then we do the breakdowns because we want to, and we want to think about it in more deep ways and etc. And everything changes the canon. Voyager J existing changes the canon. Seeing Navarre be from Vulcan, it all changes the canon, how the universe exists, and that backdates the thought process and everything's connected. I mean, if you're going to get Chakotay, it's going to link to A and B and C, and you need to know it all if you're a big Trek fan like us. That's my opinion.
Well, I agree. I totally agree with you. They have released the name of the first episode, which is Lost
2,
and Found.
I believe. Oh no, it's Doctor Who. Sorry, wrong one. Yeah, Lost and Found.
Lost and Found, which could have multiple meanings, as most Star Trek titles do. Ship lost, then found. The kids' freedom lost, then found. Their identities, maybe their memories have been wiped. So they start to get their memories back.
Well,
lost and found.
I did notice in one of the clips that the universal translator kicks in, and so they couldn't even understand each other until that, which I thought was a lovely. That's a lovely idea. It's a very for the children that don't understand Star Trek. That's a MacGuffin that seems silly, but it's literally a core tenet of the universe. Which I thought was nice.
No, it was great. Yeah, you're not a big guy. You're not a big fella.
No, I'm a child. Hello. No, that was quite
nice
fun.
to meet you, kid. I like it.
And it means that it doesn't matter if they've sort of known of each other for months or years. That's the fresh start. You know, communication begins. And it means that they're going to... Well, yeah, why would a Tellarite know how to speak Vendrasi or whatever? And suddenly it opens up their horizons as to what they can think. If they can understand everybody, or at least give or take, that's different. You understand the universe differently. You know?
And you can see how I can see how it's going to play out. Like this big rock guy is going to be like super strong, like smashing, like whatever, doing her job. Sorry, and they're going to be like, you know, hand signs, help get us out of here because you can break the gates or whatever, right?
Smash.
And, yeah. Hulk smash. And then they find out it's just essentially a little girl. Like that's cool, but big rock guy, you know. So I still keep saying big rock guy, even though I know that it's not. It's going to take me hearing the character's voice for that first episode to probably break that, but
that's fine. I mean, we didn't have to say Shinjo until we hear them say it a billion times.
Yeah,
so that's fine.
Yeah. Star Trek Fan Forever throws in $5. Thank you. Is there a difference between kids dealing with adult situations in contrast to kids dealing with kid problems? I mean, what? I don't know if I quite understand the question.
So he means, or they mean, that if a kid dealing, so say the child, the purple one, if they're dealing with, you know, I have to run away from my abusive boss and fly a ship and decide to live in a new place, that's an adult thing. If they have to decide, do I want cookies for dinner or should I go and, you know, ride the roundabout? Those aren't adult things. So it's a children's show because it's the perspective of the children, but they're going to deal with real adult things, as in just real things. Most people are adults who live, and you know,
they're going to deal with Star Trek problems
just through the lens of children. Or, well, I mean, teen. They're not even children. They're teens.
They're not even children. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're just young adults.
And you know, they happen to have quite a young. Well, apart from the voiceover for the rock person's a young girl. So the voicings are all younger than I think the characters are, which is absolutely fine. And that resonates more of a, well, they're just kids. I mean, even this purple alien like has a squid. You know, that sounds kiddie.
It's an old guy that does the voice.
It's an old guy does it. Yeah. Talented. You know, crazy.
So we got our 75 likes, guys. We're at 76, which is great. Now we're gonna go for 100.
Oh, I see the poll.
Oh yes, the poll. Sorry. Yes. Do you guys like are you a fan of the USS Protostar design? We want to go for 100 votes again. So we got 54 votes. Comment on the poll or vote on the poll. Yeah. Had a thought there. God damn it. Can't remember. Anyway, guys, super chat your thoughts, predictions about this episode. Well, the season 1, ideally, but definitely episode 1. I'm excited. Just having new Trek coming on,
like new.
Yeah, I remember like when I was like 14 and TNG was coming on. I was super. It's that kind of feeling again. So,
well, it's definitely it definitely feels like not the exact same. But it feels like Discovery episode 1 again, where this could go anywhere. Because if we didn't know if it was Prime yet, and like it could go anywhere. Picard we kind of had a much bigger sense. It's like it's only going to be so many things, and it was closer to what we thought. This can go. Lower Decks was just like, okay, it's going to be Rick and Morty meet Star Trek, and it was in essence. So that we kind of expect. This could be really anything, and we don't have another new Trek show until Strange New Worlds, and that's going to be TOS again apparently. So this is the only like truly unknown. And I'm hoping the 40 minutes really like kicks ass, because that's pretty courageous to do a full 40-minute pilot and not have that be the first 2 episodes, because that'd be a hell of a cop out.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping it means that the season finale is also 40 minutes, because that'd be a nice trend, because you can have a lot more story in 40 minutes. I mean, Lower Decks would benefit from that many a time.
Yeah, most end of season stuff will be a 2-parter though, I think. which.
But that's not the same as having it be double long though.
I know. I don't think they will do that though. Usually the first one is the longer one.
Yeah.
And then kind of the trend. So.
But hey, keep up that trend. Every season start with 40 minutes. Double the work for one episode. Go do it. I want to see more.
Oh, so you want the Strange New Worlds first episode to only be 40 minutes? Wow. That's disappointing.
Every new Prodigy. Oh, I want Stranger Worlds at 58 minutes, man.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, that bitch, 107.
Every episode, yeah. For sure.
This week's episode, 132 minutes. What the fuck? Only one episode. It's like,
Want every episode to be 3 hours long.
Dune Part 1 is Stranger Worlds. God, can I just reviewing? Oh my god. And also, can I just
sit down with my coffee in my bathrobe in the morning and halfway through go and change, have lunch.
No, that was
by supper time.
That was the Snyder cut, Stuart. Yeah, lunch, dinner, and supper, all in that time. It was a Sunday, so he had Sunday dinner. Yeah.
I Am Misi throws in $5. I wonder if they will use the Midas array at some point. I would think Hologram Janeway knows of it. There's lots of things in the Trek universe that they could use that can enable this kind of thing, like the Hirogen network, communication network that they already use.
It needs to be used.
You know, so.
Yeah. And Feed Me says, do you think the show will start in the Federation when they lose the ship, or will start with the kids finding it? We were talked about that. It's sort of 50-50. I prefer it to be prequel first, so then you know too much about it. But whichever.
Maybe it'll be like the first episode of DS9 where you got the opening scroll, and it's like maybe a narration over it. Many years ago, the Federation embarked on some kind of project. Everything went wrong, and the ship was lost forever.
Yeah.
Or so we thought.
And then it cuts to a Cardassian ship for firing at Marquise. Like, what the fuck is that? What is this again? And Chakotay's a Marquis ship, and he's much older. It's like, for God's sake, why is he back to Marquising? God damn it.
Actually, I just realized that if they do that, it'll be very similar to Clone Wars. Every episode starts with narration. Oh.
Honestly, they would have worse things on their plate if not to continue some Voyager things that have that initial text. I mean, Picard is clearly a TNG movies continuation because of how dark it is, and actually, which is still close enough. Discovery is JJ continuation, clearly, vibe-wise. Low Decks is, I guess, TOS continuation in the abstract. Like, it's more silly in some ways.
It's TNG.
Is it, though?
For sure. Yeah, it is.
Okay, if Picard's TNG movies, yeah. And this is Voyager, and then Stranger Worlds is TOS continuation, yeah. Yeah, no.
Feed Me Seymour says,
that'd be good.
Long ago in a quadrant far, far away.
Yeah.
That's great. I want to see a Kazon. Jason, you will. Because there is a Kazon in the trailer. You'll see Kazon, don't worry.
A disconnect noise.
What the hell happened? Yeah, use faded. Like I heard my audio click off, then the screen went black. What the hell is happening?
Sounds like your webcam disconnected and reconnected.
Something did. Wow.
Voth would be good to see.
Olivia Julius, $5. Question: what was it like when Voyager was announced that it was going to be stuck in the Delta Quadrant? Was it hated? Was the idea loved at first? It was pretty much loved, I think. It had a very... Well, we didn't have the new BSG then, but we had the original Battlestar Galactica with the search for home, the search for Earth. And also kind of like a Gilligan's Island type of vibe. So there was a lot of hope that, it would be a really great show. And it was. I mean... But yeah, it wasn't hated. The idea wasn't hated.
Yeah, I think that was universal acclaim because it was like, okay, great. After this weird station show, we get to be in actual Star Trek again. I think that's what people were thinking. Because some people didn't watch DS9 because it's not what Star Trek's about, which is boldly going. It was about boldly staying still.
As you do.
Until they said, F it, we need a ship, because we have to boldly shoot. I mean, go. I mean, what?
Yes. I'm pretty sure anything Delta will pop up.
Oh, well,
What?
I mean, if it has multiple seasons, I mean, we'd love to see that stuff, like Lower Decks. Okay, I've got a new theory for you. Bit radical though.
I love radical theories. But before you get into it, real quick, 106 people here, 92 likes, 8 more likes, guys, and vote on the poll. We only have 76 votes. I want to get 100 votes at least before we close out. So, anyway, Samuel, what is your theory?
Now, this is radical, but it is an interesting story mechanic that would get them out of a lot of jail free. What if this ship does come from the future, but specifically it comes from the end game future before Admiral Janeway changes the timeline? So it is technically a future design from a technical correct reality, and it was them trying to go back because it's the same past. It just went back too far or whatever. Maybe it was trying to do it maybe it used a slingshot to try and travel in space fast at the time instead of something like that. That's explained why the design looks a bit more weird, because it has some time based things. It itself can't travel through time, but it can use other mechanicals. It can if it, like a Stargate, if it finds a solar flare, it can travel in time. So it can utilize those things if they find them, and so it's from the endgame future, which is why it has all the Janeway knowledge while being earlier in the timeline when it was lost, and being more advanced. And it means you get to have because we never tapped into what that tech is, so it gets to be a bit weird, and out of jail free.
I'd be down with that. Makes sense. It has some kind of temporal shielding or protection of some sort, maybe. That's why it didn't, when it went back or whatever happened, it didn't get affected or disappear from existence.
Because it's just an interesting way of. Because then what you would do is you'd have this, and this is like deeper stuff, but in a kid show, deeper stuff. Well, how many people didn't ever get born because of Endgame? How did she change the timeline? And so if the ship was from the Endgame future, then her facts would be wrong slightly, and we could then have some fun information that's just wrong. Or more that would be more to do with Chakotay, but seeing an aborted future's ship,
that'd be amazing. It's from the correct timeline. It's thrown back into Discovery timeline because Dan says they said it was 24th century ship with elements the showrunners took from different timelines and shows what it is 24th century prime. See, I don't like them using the word prime because they don't know what the fuck it means. So to say that it's 24th century prime doesn't mean anything to me until I see the show and can judge, because Discovery is clearly not prime. So
different people saying it though, but
exactly, but I still don't trust them. So
it feels like they were given some business speak. You use this keyword and it keeps people happy. That's the keyword. I just keep wanting to yell inconceivable.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means, or it doesn't mean what you think it means.
But I Am Misi says, would its registry number put it somewhere between Voyager's construction and the Titans? Vaguely, yes, but also a ship can also be in mothballs for years and years. So it could have been started then, paused, backburnered, restarted 10 years later. So, you wouldn't necessarily recommission it after it's been commissioned anyway. So that just means there's a certain point it probably hasn't been designed before, but really there's a lot of flexibility there.
Maybe Captain Burnham from the future sends the technology back in time so that they can build this ship. So they use future 34th century technology to build the ship, and it goes wrong, and then the ship gets lost. And then it's going to tie in with Discovery. Because the ship is actually what caused the gravitational disturbance in season 4.
Maggie. Oh, no.
When it went back in time.
No. What about every time it uses a special jump drive, it makes the anomaly worse in the future? It's like, God.
Yeah, Discovery has to go find it, go back in time, find it, tell the kids to stop playing with the new toy. That's what they're going to do. They're going to tie. And Picard's going to show up too. And the aliens, the tentacle aliens, they're going to come in. It's going to be a total crossover.
And then Boimler just walks in and yells because he still sucks. Dear me.
Let's see here. Let's Star Trek fan forever throws in $5.
Thank you.
You so much. Are the episodes going to be longer to accommodate the Chakotay cruise scenes? As far as I know, the episodes are the half hour, like 24-minute-ish format. So,
Which is sad because it's totally not half an hour. Give us 30 minutes without commercials.
Star Trek fan forever puts another $5 and says all of the show's titles reflect the lead or hero ship. Prodigy. Are they going to rename it for themselves, or are the kids prodigies? I think at least one, if not two, of the kids are prodigies. At least.
No, I think they've said they're all specialists. I think they've also said they're very talented. I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
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 Maybe not literally prodigies, but I mean, it's just a good word. I mean, it's a, it's a colloquialism. My kid's a child prodigy. It's a phraseology everyone knows, and I think you do link prodigy to children more than you would adults. So it's a good social touchstone as to the show. So it's
what the show's about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great name. It's a great name.
It is a great name. Yeah.
But still,
and Smash Rocket says, and the. Oh, I was gonna say, and he says, and the com badge changes. Yeah, the com badge thing bothers me. Yeah, we're gonna see how that goes. That'll be a whole discussion at some point from us, I guarantee you.
Because that com badge is on the shirts. That's definitely their show com badge. So obviously Jamie will appear with this one, and then she'll just that's better because she's wearing her actual character com badge rather than the show's com badge. Bad com badge design though. Doesn't make any sense. But it's obviously not a com badge. It's obviously doing something else. It's a technology based.
It's like. It's almost like an interpolated delta that somebody had seen and drew from memory.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like to me. Or a future one that has evolved and changed over the years. It's got that kind of feel to it.
Yeah, but I mean, they all want a com badge. They want a com badge to call their own. That's it. I mean, that you want your own com badge. I get it, but hopefully there's a reason. And perhaps this is a specialist Delta Quadrant com badge, because the Universal Translator is in the com badges. What if that one is programmed with every language in the Delta Quadrant and enhanced translator abilities for new species?
I don't think that's a com badge that they touched in that clip. It's almost like the ignition switch for the ship. It's pretty big.
Well, sure, but we see Janeway wearing that badge later, so it's their com badge. It's just not. Yes. That's not one they. Yeah, it's a button, but wouldn't that be a rationalization for it being so different? Because this is just the classic com badge. It wasn't designed for anything specific. But if it's a Delta Quadrant designed craft, as in to go there, then communicating with aliens is going to be a big deal. We
don't want any aliens with PTSD from encountering Voyager to recognize this, but we still want to be the Federation. So let's make it similar, but different enough that, And
I'll call it stealth badge. Yeah.
The Section 31 badge.
Oh, what? But they did tease that there'll be someone else in uniform by the end of the season. But it won't be the Voyager one, it'll be something different.
Jason O says, did y'all not watch the intro? We did videos on the intro, so yes, we did watch the intro.
Video and live, I believe.
Yeah, video and live on it. So it
was a good video. Every view of the ship you could want, pretty much.
So yes, Jason, we did. We've seen it.
I guess you didn't watch Trekyards then.
Sad. They said 101 or 107 viewers here and 100 likes. So that's good. We hit our 100 goal. 120 now is the goal, guys. Keep the super chats coming with your thoughts and ideas because we want to talk about the different possibilities that this show has in store for us. So let us know your thoughts.
Also, someone mentioned Barclay. I think that would make a lot of sense if they do a flashback to the ship's construction, have Barclay and maybe in charge of the construction project. I mean, I've said to you before, it'd be good to see Admiral Janeway in it, which I don't see them not doing. And so you can imagine having Barclay and... Especially as they're obviously meant to be much older in Endgame. They weren't much older in reality, but now they are. He sounds like an older Barclay, so that fits him better. So I can imagine there being a direct scene where, well, Admiral Janeway, this, and this. Good job, Mr. Barclay. You always do us proud in the Delta Quadrant. Because they're gonna have more. They're gonna have more legacies. I mean, they are. And in fact, they said in an interview. I'm glad to remember this. Explicitly said they are having more legacies, but they won't be holograms. Confirmed 100%. Janeway is the only hologram they're going to use explicitly. So that's definitely more than just Chakotay.
And Dan says, the showrunners haven't said anything that suggests future ships or time travel. Well, of course they haven't. Even if that was like the main plot, they're not going to say that.
What have they suggested?
Unless they wanted to.
I would say barely suggested anything, you know.
Right now, everything's on, all the cards are on the table right now. We're just seeing what, you know, is going to blow away after the first episode. And even then, we're not sure, so. The dogs might freak out in a second here, so. Let's see. I'm just going to mute my microphone, so hold on a second.
Yes. But guys, we do obviously want to know your thoughts here, because we kind of had a lot of our discussion now. We do on sort of 30, 40 bucks in Super Chats. If you have some of your own thoughts, absolutely put them in chat now. We'd love to do sort of a quick fire. Maybe some questions, maybe some thoughts. You know, we do bounce off you guys' everything. Yeah, we love and live for you guys, so let us know your thoughts.
We do. Yes, we do. Absolutely.
Oh, I jumped right back in. Oh, 100 votes, Stuart. Are you a fan of the Protostar? 89% yes, 11% no.
Nice.
And I would say yes, but just as I'm a fan of the Shepherd class, but not for being TOS era, you know? Nice. Welcome back, Jobs. So yeah, guys, please put in some comments and questions. We'd love to bounce off you guys for, you know, it might be a shorter one because there's only so much we can say at this point, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because Chakotay was in charge of a Beta class. Nice little nod to Lower Decks. It'd be cool to see a live action one, but that's not going to happen.
Ooh. I mean, that's the thing though. Why wouldn't they just design new variants to sell Frigomos at this point? You know. Oh my god, hopefully though, we might see new Kazon ships and new alien ships. I haven't considered that. Yeah, actually see a whole plethora of alien ships. Why not? I guess except the fact that they're more expensive to create because there's a lot more detail in those models than the Lodex ones. Like, you gotta properly shade them. It's just a more complicated style. I mean, Lodex obviously has brilliant design, but it's slightly easier to make. Slightly.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, we've talked about a few different ways the show first episode could open. And I don't know. I think some kind of narration would be actually very beneficial. I want the ship explained relatively quickly, but I think the ship... I know. It's either going to be a long-going... Well, why wouldn't Janeway know, though? Like, Janeway should be educating them on the ship, like, immediately. Because she says she's there to run the low-level systems. But I guess... Because it implies, when she said systems, but there still needs a crew, that... Yeah, there could be specialist needs of that the ship was... That, you know, you need somebody specific to be in command of the ship or something. I don't know. I just hope that we get a pretty clear explanation of the ship relatively quickly, and I'm not sure we will. It might be a slow reveal.
And that's a double-edged sword, obviously. It could be amazing. Well, that's the thing, though, is the story about the ship, the story about the crew, is the story about the backstory, is the story about being found, is the story about Janeway's exploration of the characters.
For me, it's all about the ship. That's all I care about.
Yeah. I really, as I said before, I really hope there's a beeline of Chakotay, either in Delta Quadrant or whatevering. You know, I think the last scene, 40-minute episodes will be a bleep, 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 Admiral Janeway walking into her office and sitting down and opening a, the dude pad thing and saying, "What is it? Oh my. The Protostar is active? Computer, locate Captain Chakotay. Captain Chakotay is on the USS Prometheus, get him." And then he's on the screen. "Captain, hello, Admiral. HAL 7, she broke my heart. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And you're the Federalist Rangers. The what? Doesn't matter. How's Echeb? Alive.
What the hell's
good.
The Federalist Rangers? Sounds like something in a D&D game.
Oh, and how's Picard? Oh, he's not retired yet. Oh, good.
Yeah.
How's Raffi? Who? Drug addict. Oh, yeah. Sorry, joking aside, and say, "I've got a mission for you," and then cuts. That would be, that I think would be the strongest end, because that would tell you the season-wide arc. But it won't be. But it won't be.
Sergeant Montgomery, $2.
Oh, that was loud. Wow, sorry.
Org status after transwarp conduits destroyed.
Yes. They're going to have to.
Yeah.
Unless the colony's so out of the way and so, like... I mean, if you haven't got fast warp, the galaxy's a big place.
Mm-hmm.
So, or is it more interesting that the colony literally doesn't know anything about anything, and so the kids are even though they're born in the Delta Quadrant, lived there their entire lives, they learn absolutely nothing, and so they're like, "What's a Borg?" Like the kid rock monster. What's a Borg?
Sounds Swedish.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Janeway's like, they're not great, I'll be honest. Let's avoid them like the plague, which they are.
Let's avoid them like the Borg.
So would it be more interesting if they are totally naive or have some, long-standing knowledge of, my parents talked about the Borg and blah, blah, blah. What do you think?
Maybe more interesting if they're naive, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the direction they'll go, honestly,
yeah.
So.
Well, it allows for similar vibe to Voyager. And it's perfectly justifiable. Especially if they have been slaves on this planet since they were born, they're never going to have sensors or scanners or news network. I mean, they only know what's here. And if they're like a small time dilithium refinery, then they're going to sell to local people and not much else. I'm fine with
that. George Brangram, $5. Do you think this ship will have an EMH or an EMH Mark 1, Mark 2, or 3? It'll have an EMH of some kind for sure. It'll be interesting to see too, like one of the kids gets injured, and the EMH just has no idea what to do, especially the rock creature. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
I feel like that would be Janeway. I feel like they'll say we can only sustain one hologram one time, and I know you guys. Or, I mean, if Janeway can access the medical database, she's also the EMH.
Yeah,
abstractly.
Exactly.
But I mean, that certainly would be a nice, a mic drop if Picard is in it as well. Would be a mic drop moment, But unlike Voyager, they can't sustain him all the time because they need Janeway, and so he's literally a last use thing. Pick between your guide or your doctor. Well,
you don't want to die, so doctors are important. Just saying.
but if you're in a tactical situation, you don't know how to use the ship. There are some times that'd be an interesting question.
And Sergeant Montgomery says, will the EMH be Jason Alexander? No, because he's Chakotay's crew, apparently. And he's a Tellarite. Maybe he's the father of the kid Tellarite.
Or his uncle. Or his great-uncle.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dr. Bashir EMH will also be very acceptable. Or Andy Dick. Any of the three, they're all good EMHs. Let us be honest.
Yeah.
I'm just more excited for Legacy Voyager people to come back, I'm going to be honest. Like, how their stories can continue and evolve. That's exciting.
Yeah. Paris comes back. Hey, did you hear? I'm going to be on a plate. It's a whole commemorative series on Voyager. We're all going to be on it. What? Wait a minute. This is after. Never mind. This is after Lower Decks. I don't know the timeline. I don't know when this takes place specifically, but
we have talked about this.
I know we did, but I don't remember.
I'll find out.
I think it's a few years after Lower Decks, as far as.
Yeah, it's like 6 years past Voyager. 83. And yeah, Lower Decks 81, so yeah, 2 years after Lower Decks, which means 2 years before the Picard flashback. So yeah.
They're really filling in that gap of time, aren't they? Jeez.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they kind of put themselves, Yeah. They gave themselves that lineup. Let's look at 84. Nothing happened in 84. Not one damn sausage. But then Mars Attacks was 85.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mars Attacks, good movie. 109 likes, 102 people here. I think we can still hit 120. Although more likes would be great. I don't know what to say, what to talk about specifically. So if you guys want to keep the conversation going, super chat away. Another $30 would be fantastic.
Yeah, that's reasonable. It's doable.
Yeah. And keep in mind that on Thursday, I will still be doing my first reaction to this first episode on Thursday night. And on Friday, we'll be doing our full breakdown of the episode at the regular time. So those are 2 lives to look forward to this week. And I'm not sure what live we'll be doing tomorrow, but just keep your eyeballs peeled for that.
I joked about doing a anything but Star Trek live. Kind of have a bit of a mental, whatever. But obviously, if you guys aren't here that make it worthwhile, then it's not worthwhile. We've got other things to do. That's the sad thing, because 100 people, we can do polls, we can talk it, and besides, the focus is nice. Although I said, well, Star Wars, but that doesn't help either. Nothing news at the Star Wars, or watch Dune. Do a Dune review. Everyone's waiting for. For sure.
Yeah, I created a new poll.
Oh, fantastic!
Because I'm interested to see what people think. Don't say it. Don't say anything.
You're a funny person, Stuart. People don't give enough credit.
And somebody's already screwed it up.
You're a funny man.
I hate all of you. For the record.
You're an asshole.
Yes.
Mean.
There you go. That should be the poll. Is Captain Foley an asshole? That'll be our 100.
That's the first one, yeah.
100% poll. Yeah.
God.
Wow. I've run out of things to say.
Yes, it has, James. Yes, it has. Well, I mean, yeah, this is a... Spike, are you guys going to nitpick a show made for 7-year-olds? Well, we don't nitpick... Who
the hell said that?
Spike. Well, we don't nitpick anything, but a show made in 2021 with all the modern tech, knowledge, canon, and people, well, why would we not review it fully? Like, it's easier to not review something that was made in the 70s with a fine tooth comb, but if it was made literally today, if they make mistakes, that's on them. But we don't nitpick anything. We're actually quite forgiving, actually. And for a lot of the stuff, we just show the side by side. Like it could be a nitpick why there's a mirror universe in Lower Decks visually, or it could be an interesting story. We just put it in front of you and here. Is it nitpicking the Nova has wrong window detail? Don't know. Are there windows? Don't know. Here's the facts of the visuals. You decide. Yeah, that's what we do.
It's not for 7-year-olds, so educate yourself.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But yeah, no, it's nice to sort of have a chat. I think we have better ideas in the show, but they'll have different ideas. They'll have different ideas that we would never thought of. They'll have interesting because the big question is how many seasons they're planning for, because this feels like a multi-season arc show. You can't just invent one more year. They either do find Trekyards or do get to Earth or do X, Y, and Z. But also, this is a pandemic show, as in they can make it during any condition. So wouldn't you commission more years of this just in case the other shows take breaks? I'm sure they're going to get a 3-season order, or at least a 2-season order straight away, and so they have at least 2-year arc. But there's only 20 episodes. That's not even one season of TNG, so it's not really a big arc. If in the olden days, it's
It makes you wonder how long the show can go, because it's not their ship; it's the Starfleet ship.
Yep.
So
that's a good point. That's a really good point, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, can you remember DS9? We had 24, and each season was an arc as well. Those were arcs, Stuart. Those were arcs.
Unless the ship imprints itself on the kids, or vice versa, and they have to be there, part of it. But I can't see. That's like a really serious MacGuffin.
Okay.
But it's been done before.
That
Greatest American Hero with the alien suit. He was the only one that could use it because it imprinted on him. So,
Okay, that actually kind of grabbed me. I'll be honest. That comment, I could imagine that we've got this alien from the Alpha Quadrant. We've got these tech specialists. I can imagine that. Ooh, what?
I just had a thought.
Oh, okay. I'll write mine down.
I want you to keep your thought going. But
okay, you write yours down.
Remember mine.
Write down.
Yes.
Okay. So, what if, they, with their own specialities, are able to, when Janeway says, I want to help you, what if they say, oh, hologram, nice, we can enhance her program beyond the baseline of what she's given. She can help us more. And so they give her the 7 years of advancement that the Doctor got. Now she becomes sentient, and like close enough to sentient. And then what if by the end of the season, like you say, there's a risk either meet Chakotay or some Federation, whatever, or save the ship. And Janeway says, oh, I would rather save the ship and the crew. That's who I value more. And so the Janeway character chooses them over the mission. And now it can do anything. Now you don't have to meet Starfleet and now whatever. Because she's an evolving character. What do you think?
Wow. Yeah, I like that a lot. But it it ties in with the whole sentient, like Picard becoming an android, though. Like, giving them...
Well, yeah.
Like, android status, how important that is, because we obviously know in Picard that kind of backfires. Yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. Now, my idea was we see the daughter of the warden tied up in the captain's chair. Why did they bring her? Maybe they needed her to get through the security because of her DNA, or because she's obviously her dad's daughter. But maybe with them leading her in front of them tied up, she's the first one the ship scans. So the ship imprints on her as somebody super important. That's why she's sitting tied up in the captain's chair, because it won't go anywhere unless, for the initial launch. That'd be interesting, because they plopped her in the captain's chair with her tied up.
I mean, it's the biggest chair, to be fair.
But it is, but...
Yeah, it's symbolic.
Yeah. It might be interesting if that's the case. They need her, and then she grows to like them and understand the mission, and that her dad's an asshole.
Well, that's the tricky thing, though. Why would a Starfleet ship give up its own authorization to just literally the first person sitting in the captain's chair?
She's the right species. That's why it was designed specifically.
Sure, which is why the dad, if the dad found it or not, the dad might have put in state. Well, we assumed early on the dad already was fixing it over years, and his DNA is the only way they can fly it, and that's why they have to bring her along or accept to have her there. So it's not. But then the Janeway hologram, and why wouldn't the dad have pushed the combat button, etc. Will it be a wreck, or will it be just crashed, or will it be repaired?
Just crashed, I think. I don't think it'll be a wreck.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, so fully functional, give or take. Just no power for long enough that no one detected it.
Maybe it takes one of the kids who's a prodigy to figure out how to get the power on, and then they push the button. Maybe it's just pushing the button. Nobody knew.
Although, to be fair, maybe, though, something as simple as, they have to open the ramp, because if they can't take any sort of flying machine out of the complex, all they can do is walk, how are you going to get into a metal starship, Stuart? How? You can't hit your way, and you can't take... You're a slave of this colony. You can't break in. So maybe it takes the daughter 3 years just to get the damn door open. And that's why she's got so much confidence, and then the other people join in and find it with her, whatever. That's why the door's open, and then... Which is fine,
We're going to have answers so soon.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And Feed Me Seymour says it's the only chair. It's not. There are other chairs on the bridge.
Lots of chairs. It's a very big bridge with many things.
Yeah.
Well, guys, can we get $15 more, 3 more 5s, and then we can call it a lovely little, a lovely how-do-you-do.
Wow. There's a new poll, and I hate everyone again. Anyway, that's okay. Yeah, $15 more would be awesome. Let's get 7 more likes, guys. Get to 120. But yeah, if you have anything you want, any ideas you have, let us know,
minute,
please.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that's Sergeant Montgomery's idea, that poll. So I thought it was great.
All credit to him.
All credit to Sergeant Montgomery.
Now, the real question, though, is the Great Koala going to make an appearance?
No.
Well, my question was answered. Yeah, I flawlessly answered, Stuart. I asked.
I'd almost put money on it.
Can you imagine if the entire story starts with the Great Koala looking down into the galaxy and then zooming down? It's like, oh my god. Now there should be a directive in every show to include the Great Koala.
in some form, just as a statue in the background or something.
Yeah. This entire race watches of the great koala.
But see, you need it in your fan films now. I know.
Hadn't even thought of that. How did I not think of that yet? It's
I don't know, but
like some character's sleeping and then wakes up and it's like, oh, great koala. Everyone's like, what? I saw a light and these eyes and these nostril fur. It was
bamboo.
All around me was bamboo, as far as the eye could see. Thousands of acres of bamboo. Was this heaven? Was this reality? All I saw was bamboo, man. Bamboo.
One more like to get to 120, guys. And last super chat slots available. Squadra Course currently has it.
Oh.
So Squadra Course is so far the winner. But Area 51, well, George Mangrum, sorry, throws in $2. Can we vote in a poll in tomorrow's live? If we have a live tomorrow, yes, you can vote in a poll.
Sure.
Unless you mean make a poll for tomorrow's live as for a topic. But I can't think of anything, so. Area 51, $5. New poll idea. You will hit the no option, won't you?
Do it.
No, because I will.
Well, social experiments, Stuart. Do it and find out. Okay. What will our audience do? Go with what the great koala thinks you like. Go with what the great koala inspires you with. Yeah, it is quite surreal though. All these, we're gonna get these answers in theory very, very soon. It's weird.
Yeah. And Squadra, of course, like I said, has that last super chat slot. If anybody's interested, skip it up. New poll. 100%.
Let's vote now, forever hold your votes, because they'll be able to vote on at that point.
There you go. Yeah, it takes 2 seconds for somebody to fuck it up. Good job, guys. Norman, coordinate. Yes. Your facts are uncoordinated. All right, guys, one more like to get to 120. It should be very doable. And yeah, 15 more bucks if possible. That'd be awesome. Do you actually get to vote on the same poll? Well, you can. I just have to go in and click the link to the video and do it that way.
Yeah, I vote occasionally.
As on the screen, we can't. Yeah. So I knew this would be a kind of 50-50 split poll, though.
Oh, dear me. But yeah, cool beans. Well,
I mean, what? I mean, go to sleep.
Thank you. No, I'll just briefly pimp out though that we have other videos that came out to celebrate the end of Lower Decks. We had a whole lot of content. Just to reiterate what we did for the end. If you want to check back, we did Not a Bridge Window, 100% confirmed. We did Cerrio's Captain's Yacht breakdown. We did top 10 least favorite things in Lower Decks. We did Manual Steering Column back in 2021. We did our favorite things in Lower Decks. We did the Nova class breakdown and the Oberth breakdown. Also our Drunk retrospective, which I'm going to show you all that. Then the Hollow Mirror Universe breakdown, Hollow Ethics. And we have one more coming out tomorrow, I believe. So tune in if you want to see our discussion on that stuff. Yeah, Lower Decks fun.
Yep. And like I said, Thursday night, my first reaction to the first episode of the first season of Prodigy. So I'm excited for that. And then Friday, we'll be doing our full breakdown and review at the regular time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wow.
An hour earlier, probably.
I'm going to say, yeah, it might be an hour earlier, but we'll have to see. See how much there is to talk about. If it's boring, it'll be the same time.
Well,
if it's interesting.
It is also 40 minutes, so at the very least it'll be whichever.
And so, Robert, this is not a forum for telling jokes, so I'm not going to read your jokes in every live. No. Sorry.
On that confusing note.
Yeah.
Maybe see you tomorrow. If not, tune into the videos, etc. Thanks all for joining. Have a great rest of your day. I'll go back to some green screen myself. You go eat some food, Stuart.
Yep. Don't know what we're doing yet. Thank you guys for joining us. Till then, till next time, he's Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Foley.
I'll see you later.
Bye, guys.
New Trek on the way.